Yo, what's going on? Scotty here. I wanted to make this video. Like I mentioned before, I wanted to kind of work on uh, dropping new content and different stuff, and just kind of vary my channel a little bit and talk about other stuff I'm interested in. Maybe bring back a podcast that I did a couple of years ago. But right now, I wanted to talk about my favorite team in the whole entire world, the New York Knicks. I am a diehard Knicks fan. I've been since I was as long as I could remember, back in the early '90s when we had the glory years of Ewing, Mason, Oakley, Starks, Pat Riley, and then Van Gundy, Anthony Mason, Derek Harper, everybody, Greg Anthony, Charlie Ward, Sprewell, Johnson. I have my favorite jersey is Mitchell and S throwback jersey. I paid like $300 from the NBA store in the city. I got it. Yeah, I'm just a diehard Knicks fan. I was at the playoff game with that one they won, Game 2. That was one of the craziest games I've seen at the Garden ever. Too bad we lost. But I wanted to make my reaction to this team this year, first preseason game the other night. And I know it's only the first preseason game, and you can't put too much stock into it, but from what I saw, that Kemba Walker effect, that point guard changed everything. We had nobody that was able to really break down the defense, create their own shots, other than a couple players, and look what happened against Atlanta. They just loaded up on Julius Randle, and we really couldn't do much other than that. D-Rose saved us in Game 2. We hit some threes late in the fourth quarter. I remember going crazy. But overall, we had one of the best defenses, but practically in the playoffs, no offense. So we won a decent amount of games, more than people thought, but that was also because Julius Randle became most improved player. But in the playoffs, it's not going to work because teams that are going to adjust, they're going to, just double team whoever your primary scorer is. If you don't have a second, third option on other people that can't spread the floor, it's going to be very hard for you to break down a defense and score, especially in today's point guard driven league. So my initial reaction, I loved everything I saw last night against the Pacers. And even though the Pacers were, I noticed, mostly not running most of their fucking first string. I know Rick Carlisle didn't really keep most of the first string out for the most part, but I remember at one point there was a lead of 80 to 55. And you see that effect coming from Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker just being able to spread the floor, keep the defense honest. Kemba can create a shot anytime he wants to. He can score from anywhere, and he can break down the defense and, dish off to an outside shooter or somebody rolling to the rim. Everybody looked great. Taj Gibson held down the center position most of the game, and he had a great game. If you looked at the scoring, it was all balanced. Not just Randall dropping 35 and everyone having like 5 to 10 points. Everybody was scoring in the 10 to 20s for the most part. RJ Barrett looked good. He has a very improved jump shot, and I just loved watching us finally have an awesome point guard in their prime that can just, like I said, break down the defense, be a playmaker, as well as score from anywhere and create his own shot. So I was really hyped to watch that. We have great depth everywhere at every position, pretty much. Once Mitchell Robinson gets healthy, he is our X factor, and I really would want to see him stay healthy the whole season, because if he stayed healthy last season in the playoffs, we might have been able to have an maybe even beat the Hawks, because a lot of those Trae Young floaters would have been swatted or not even taken once Mitchell was covering the paint. So if he can stay healthy, it's hard for a guy over 7 feet tall that's, jumping most of the game, grabbing rebounds and dunking the ball off alley-oop passes, but if he can stay healthy, he's like our X factor. Nerlens Noel didn't even play it much last night. I didn't see, but everybody looked pretty good. We even saw a few minutes from Kevin Knox. Would love to see him have just more of an aggressive like kind of vibe. I never. He looks like he doesn't. That was the one knock on him when we drafted him. The effort they said sometimes isn't there on the defensive end. And if you're not going to play defense, then Coach Tibbs ain't going to play you. But I'd like to see him try to get more minutes. But we are pretty much loaded at every position. D Rose coming off the bench to be point guard. That's awesome. I don't think there's another point guard better in the league that comes off the bench right now. And I just loved watching everybody, just doing their thing and just moving without the ball. Everybody looks like they improved over the offseason. They didn't just, kind of settle. They looked like we are actually building on what we did last year, which is great. Coach Thibodeau, what more can I say about him? He's the coach of the year last year, and he reminds me right now in the league as close of a coach like Pat Riley as you can get. Hard-nosed, defensive-minded, no bullshit. Just, if you're not going to give effort and play hard on defense, then you're not going to be out there. You can argue that maybe on offense he's not the best coach. Maybe he can't call the greatest plays out of timeouts, but you can't really blame him that much because look at our roster last year. It didn't have that many playmakers besides Randle. So having Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier just totally changes everything. You got another shooter that spreads the floor, that can score anywhere, and just an awesome dynamic point guard that was born and bred in New York City. And, the fans are just going to just love him. I know when I go to a Knicks game this year, I'm going to love watching what I see. And I honestly believe we could stay what we did last year in the top 4. So, I just, like I said, I don't want to put too much stock into the very first preseason game. But from everything I saw, the way the team was playing, it definitely looked like we came out ready to play, no nonsense. And, like I said, even Taj Gibson was getting buckets outside the paint. And everyone was able to, knock down open shots and, create plays. And the rookie Sims, he might be that guy that steals all the minutes from Kevin Knox. I'd hate to say, but at the same time, to have a rookie that looks that promising is great. So he's definitely looks to be a guy that won't hit a rookie wall since we have so much depth, and he looks like a guy that will, stay aggressive on both ends of the court, and maybe not always look for a shot, but he'll be there, not afraid of the moment, and I definitely like what I see from him. So looking up and down our whole roster, I'm really hyped on it. And like I said, the X factor I really believe is Mitchell Robinson. If he could stay healthy for most of the season, then I really think we can maintain that 4th seed. Besides Brooklyn and Milwaukee, they'll have number 1 and 2, obviously, unless Kyrie pulls some bullshit and causes everyone to leave Brooklyn, because I saw something online today about James Harden saying, hey, I never tested free agency before. Why would you say that unless you're having a serious problem in Brooklyn that Kyrie is creating? I'm glad that we did not get him. When he is on the court, he is unbelievable. I'm not denying his talent as a player. I live in Bloomfield, and I only live 5 minutes away from the first episode of Uncle Drew. One of my friends was there that night and actually tried guarding him when they weren't filming, and he said he just couldn't stay in front of him at all. Kyrie has the best handles as far as under the rim type players, one of the best finishers ever, and he can score from anywhere and he can drop 40 on you whenever he wants. It's just his personality I never liked. I look at everything when it comes to basketball. I'm a basketball junkie. It's not just how you look on the court, it's your intangibles, how you carry yourself. Do you work hard? Do you have that MJ, Kobe type killer instinct? Do you look to make your team better? Are you a cool, just normal, fun person to be around? Are you a likable person? Are you a great teammate? You know, Stephon Marbury, great player, but was voted the worst teammate by everyone in the league at the time, and I couldn't argue with that. I remember seeing Marbury when he was on the Knicks back in the mid 2000s. Went to a gas station down the street from me. He pulled up in a Hummer, walked in, and said, didn't say anything. Took a pack of gum, went to walk out the door, and expecting not to pay just because he's Stephon Marbury. The guy at the register I talked to, he said he looked at me like, I gotta pay for this? And the guy's like, yeah, 50 cents. Like, you know, like that's the attitude he had. So, as far as our whole team, everybody looks like they're locked in. Obi Toppin, I'm going to have fun watching him get some alley-oop dunks, hopefully, as well, just like Mitch. But everybody, RJ looks better, and he's knocking down shots. We already know what we got with our new backcourt, Fournier and Kemba, and everyone else just takes a step forward. Julius Randle looked like he was training in the offseason. I was watching him, and he definitely looks like he didn't just get satisfied winning Most Improved Player and getting eliminated in the gentleman's sweep in the playoffs. He looks like he's hungry and he wants to keep on improving. And he's even better because he's not going to have to carry as much of a workload. He's going to have more open space to move and do what he wants. And I'm just really hyped on this season. I can't wait to see what happens. I mean, me being my delusional Knicks fan self, who knows if the matchups work out and we can avoid Milwaukee and Brooklyn in the first and second round. I mean, I don't see Atlanta getting better. I don't think they got much worse, but I don't think they got any better. Orlando's garbage. You never know with Miami. Miami might get that third seed, and Chicago with their new backcourt of Lonzo Ball and Zach LaVine. I want to see how that pans out too. But I really think we can stay at the 4th and 5th seed at the least and work on what we built last year and just keep on getting better. So that's pretty much it. That's my thoughts of the game overall. And I will definitely be posting more about the Knicks as the season goes on. Since, like I said, I'm a diehard fan, and I will definitely be watching every game, and I will be attending as many games as I'm able to. So, I hope that some of you guys, my current subscribers, are Knicks fans. I hope I get some new subscribers that are basketball junkies like me and Knicks fans. And, just let me know in the comments if you guys are into basketball, and hopefully I'll get a few new subscribers that are into it as well. I just want to vary my channel besides my music. I announced the other day that I have my new single dropping in a few weeks on October 27th, which is my guest feature that I'm so hyped on. I've been waiting to do this with this guy for so long. We've been friends for a while. When I worked at Animal, and we were hooking up everybody like Lil Wayne, Wu-Tang, Animal, with Animal clothing, Pacewon. So my song called Alone will drop on October 27th, and it will be at 6 p.m. So I'll keep on keeping everyone up to date on that. But yeah, it's set to go. That's the release date and time. Put a pre-save link in the description. If you guys can pre-save it, I'd appreciate it. And thank you so much for following me, subscribing, commenting, and all the love and support with my music. I can't thank you enough. So that's it for now, and I will talk to you guys later. Everybody be safe out there, and thank you so much for subscribing. And if you can, just hit the notification button, and I'll have lots of new content coming out. So I'll talk to you guys later, and go Knicks.